Oh, hey, yo! We're back. We're back with, look at this. You see this? Now we're professional, alright? Now you're talking to the fucking big dogs around here. See this? Hey, you fucking see this right here? That's how you know I'm official now. I hope everybody had a great Father's Day. I did. Alright? My lady, treated me to a nice Father's Day gift, which was this right here. So shout out, wifey. Thank you very much. I had, the whole circus come into the house. And, I say it's a circus because it is a circus. There's a lot of loud noises. There's this, there's that. Because, it's just a bunch of people. When there's a lot of people in a small place, it's always going to be some sort of commotion. But, it's better to have something than nothing and be lonely your whole life. You don't want that, right? You got to have, life is all about balance. I don't know why this became a fucking help seminar or whatever, but that's just how it is. But besides having the circus over and Father's Day, and I had a good Father's Day, let's talk. This got me self-conscious now. Make sure everything's all good. Let's talk about some fucking fights. And boy, oh boy, did it not disappoint. It did not disappoint at all, my friends. It did not. I mean, I would say, before I get into each fight overall, I gotta say, the card out of 10, I'd give it like an 8.5. Maybe close to a 9. But yeah, for sure. It was a great card, A lot of finishes, and no, not any quick sixes that are just like, oh my god, that's why it's incredible. No, you had all sorts of stuff on the card. You got a lot of good submissions. You had a lot of good knockouts. You even had like a couple of anomalies with like the weird referee fuck up type of deals, which we're going to get into that. You had, some decent decisions, some good fights that went to the decision. So, actually wars that went to the decision too, the main event. But, man, holy crap. It was a very good card. And, a lot of people shit on the Apex cards, but me personally, I like them. I think Apex cards are really good for, like, up-and-comers and, for main events that have two, like, really good people in the main event, but they're not well-known. And I think it's really smart to have it at the Apex. Just so that, I'm sounding like a fucking company man right now, but it's true. Like, you're going to waste a whole bunch of money, traveling out here, doing this, getting the fucking, the renting the venue and all that and da-da-da. And which, I mean, the UFC could. The UFC, the brand itself, could sell out any arena. You could put fucking two potatoes at each other, whatever. But, I think, I just think that the Apex shows are cool because you get to hear everything, see everything and all that, and it's kind of pure in a way without all the crowd and all that. But, yeah, I don't know why why the fuck do I care if the UFC is buying, renting out venues or not to sell out arenas and shit? What the... Does this shirt say UFC? No. I wish it did. Hey, that'd be great. Hey, sign me up. I'll be one of the best matchmakers of all time. Hands down. Joe Silva type of swag. Maybe even better. You never know. But anyways, let's get into it. All right. But first, before we get into it, I didn't fart. That was just my chair. I swear to you. I gotta crack open a cold one, and by cold I mean a Coca-Cola. All right, good. Now we can start. All right, so the first fight, Mr. Bukaki Man, Bukakis versus Pauga. And I gotta say, real quick, like the judging kind of scared me for it to be, for it being the first fight of the night, and it was a 30-27 for my boy Bukaki. And even though I was rooting for him to win that fight, I don't think it was 30-27. I truly believe it was 2-1 for Modestas, but you could do 2-1 for Pauga too, right? It was either or. I think it was a very, very great fight. Pauga really did a phenomenal job with how he was kind of like moving side to side. His movement was real good. He was throwing big shots, kind of like an off rhythm type of thing he was doing, which is kind of getting Modestas kind of frozen a little bit. And then Modestas was hitting him with that jab, with the two. I mean, it was a great fight. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at either or winning. And I feel like they needed to have a lot more draws in MMA too. But, congratulations to Mr. Bukaki Man, Modestas. And 30-27, it's just, like, what is that? Like, that's just crazy. That's just fucking crazy. So then we got the next fight, which I was talking to you about. I thought Ronnie Lawrence was going to take it, but man, this Dan Argueta cat, he's something else. Who knows? Now here's what happened. Like, it wasn't a tap. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I need to start from the beginning. So the fight happens, right? Dan Argueta gets him in the, in the clinch, takes him down, whatever. And then it's just like fucking like the cartoons. You know how the cartoons go like this in the big dust clouds or whatever. So that starts going on with the both of them just scrambling. And really, Dan was in control of most of the majority of the grappling exchanges. And he's just going submission after submission. And to Ronnie's credit, he was doing a good job of defending a lot of the submission attempts. But then Dan Argueta went for like a guillotine, and then Ronnie tried to roll out of it, and then Dan Argueta ended up going on top for a mounted guillotine. Right? And so then you got Ronnie Lawrence with his neck like this, shoulder shrug like this, and that's how you're supposed to defend a guillotine, is you want to shrug your shoulders and put your chin down. And basically you have no neck when you do that, right? And so he's trying to do that. He had one hand out like this, open. I don't know if you can see it. His hand was open like this. Holy shit, that was a big ass bird. He had his hand open like this, looking like it was going to tap. But the problem is, we don't fucking know. Because Mr. fucking Marlboro over here wants to fucking touch the guy for, like, why? Why would you touch his hand when his hand is erect like this? The only reason why the ref would ever check your hand or touch it is to see if you've gone out or you're limp, which refs have done that before when somebody's in a very tight chokehold and they're looking kind of iffy, and the ref will touch you, and then usually the guy will be like, hey, fuck off, whatever, right? But for Keith Peterson, aka Mr. Marlboro, aka Mr. Coors Light, Mr. fucking Modelo, brewed for the fighting spirit, to go in there and touch his fucking hand when it's erect, it's not limp, he's not like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense, right? It was a very, very gigantic fuck up for Mr. Newport's. And it was a damn shame, because not only does that become a no decision, they made a no decision or no contest. I don't think they both got their win money, or I don't know. Maybe, usually the UFC will do good and give them whatever, and give the guy who won their win money when it comes to situations like that. But it just really doesn't make sense to me why he would intervene like that. And in Ronnie Lawrence's case, when somebody has a mounted guillotine on you, right away, what you have to do is, of course, number one, try to protect your neck as best as you can, shrugging your shoulders, chin down. But also with that erect hand that he has, looking like it was going to tap, it needs to be on Dan's hips. And his feet, Ronnie Lawrence's feet, need to be on the ground as well. And then you got to try to buck. You got to try to buck him off to imbalance Dan, who's got his arm around your neck. And what will happen is if you buck real hard and your hands on their hips and you buck real hard, what's going to happen is he's going to either have to let go of that choke to stabilize himself, or his fucking head is going to spike the floor. And that's what happened to me one time. I was training, whatever, and I had a guy in a mounted guillotine, same like how Dan Argueta had it. And what the guy did, he was really crafty. He was good. He's really good. He put his hands on my hips, right, and he bucked real hard. And usually, if you wrap up the mounted guillotine real well, and you can kind of like wrap your legs, around their legs a little bit, make it a little bit harder. But I didn't have the legs wrapped around the other guy's legs that good. So he was able to squirm and kind of buck me real hard. And instead of me letting go of the grip and bracing, my head fucking spiked right on top of the mat. My head did. Like, boom, spiked real hard. And I had a stinging pain from my neck all the way down to my right arm. It was like a fiery, tingly pain. It's called like a stinger. My right arm was like a little tingly, like a little numbish. And right away I was like, oh shit, I gotta sit this one out. He's like, you alright? I'm like, yeah, I gotta sit this one out. So, yeah, that's what Ronnie Lawrence should have been doing instead of been like, oh, I might tap. Hey. It reminds me of like that commercial with the guy, the fisherman with the little money on the end of the line, like the insurance commercial. Oh, you gotta be quicker than that. Oh, hey, I'm about to tap. Hey, woo. So, yeah, and I'm kind of going in on this fight a little too longer than usual, but I have to, because as I stated in the previous video, I was having high hopes for Mr. Ronnie Lawrence. Seeing them, he had a couple wins in the UFC, looking really good, and then the Contender Series fight. I see a lot of potential in this guy, but he really needs to work on his jiu-jitsu, and I feel like his wrestling is getting better. Like I saw, he was trying to do the right things to get up and stuff, but you just can't. You just can't get yourself in those type of situations. You can't settle. Like in the middle of a scramble, you can't just settle, right? So there was a few times in those grappling exchanges where he just settled and let Dan kind of settle himself in and set up for the next submission attempt and all that. You got to be fighting like hell nonstop to keep moving, keep adjusting in order for you to get up. But I hope that fight gets rebooked, because we were robbed of what could have happened. What could have happened? Ronnie could have gotten out. Maybe Dan Argueta would have gotten the choke. Maybe Dan Argueta might have fucking blown out his arms. Maybe he would have gotten tired from all that grappling. You never know. A million different things could have happened. So, Mr. Marlboro, aka Mr. Newports, aka Don Julio, needs to, Jose Cuervo needs to, for sure, get his head out of his ass. And even if it is a choke, right, and you're not quite, whatever, let the guy go out. You can, obviously, you're in there. You can fucking see their fucking eyes. You can see their hand is like, So hopefully he gets his head out of his ass. And the best part was that Dominic Cruz, out of all people, were one of the commentators that night. So I know he must have been having a fucking field day, right? Smelled like alcohol and cigarettes. Too funny. Old Cruz, he's too funny. So then we got Carlos Hernandez versus Dennis. I can't read what it says. Dennis Bondov. So on my little paper, I put KO. But on Google, SureDog, UFC website, all these other websites that I see, it says decision, right? That ain't no decision, boss. That ain't no decision. What I witnessed with that fight was quite possibly the closest thing to I have ever seen to murder in the octagon. We've seen some brutal knockouts, right? And like the only one I could think of that's kind of close to that was like when Rampage knocked out Vanderlei and he did those like follow-up shots. That was brutal. That was nasty, right? The guy that got crucifixed, what's his name? Was it Gary Goodridge? Was that the guy who did it? He did that and the guy was like flopping. He was all unconscious and shit. So those are like the only things that come to mind when it comes to like absolute brutalities, fatalities in the fucking octagon. But yo, this fucking Carlos Hernandez guy, ay. Holy crap. Oh my God, that was scary. And to see this fight happen, right? Just after the fuck up with the ref in the last fight was crazy. Why? What is the ref doing? What was the ref doing? When you are that close to somebody, what do you think he's defending himself? How? Flopping around lifelessly? Is that a defense? What kind of shit is that? Horrible. And nobody's talking about this guy. Nobody. Right? Nobody's talking about this guy. It's unreal how you can let somebody take those many unanswered shots. Like, holy crap. And to why it's ruled a decision, they went to the replay booth and they thought that when he slammed him, right, that his head followed his head and it was a headbutt, which there was no headbutt at all. He slammed him, boomed him, right? To use Florida terms, he boomed it. Boomed him on his head. He was out. Then fucking 6, 7 nasty just elbows. Holy shit. Yeah, that's not a decision. That's a brutality in Mortal Kombat terms. That is a fatality. That's a fucking bestiality. That's a fucking no mercy type shit. Oh my God. X-ray combo, fucking killer combo. Whatever you want to say. That was crazy. That ref needs to be fucking, I don't even know. I don't even know what to do to that ref. I wouldn't say fired, but, demoted? I don't know. But good job, Carlos Hernandez. That was brutal. Then you got Kang Kyung Ho versus Quinones. That was a great fight. Nothing spectacular or crazy happened there. Good fight, good finish. He's got that was a really interesting stat too, that he's got 4 submissions in the bantamweight division, and the most in the division is only 6, which is crazy. 6 or 7. That's the most in the division. Pretty nuts. Bantamweight is just on fire. It's the most talent-stacked division in the UFC right now, hands down. It's the most. It has the most talented fighters in that division. It is insane. So congratulations to him. And he was extremely tan, by the way. Very, very tan. You see an Asian man who is extremely tan like that, just know he knows some shit that you don't know. Because Asian people are not that tan. Alright? He had the perfect tan I've ever seen in my entire life. So, he knew something that we didn't. Then we got, man. This one hurts, man. then you got Jimmy Flick, Jimmy the Brick Flick versus, I got to give this, what is this, Fast and Furious? Look at this idiot, look. 3 of them. Hey guys. What are you doing on a Monday night? Well, let's go on our motorcycles and go down the interstate. Woo! Buffoons. Nothing to do better on a Monday night. I don't know. Maybe lay down, watch some TV. No, let's go on our motorcycles and fucking speed past everybody. While we're making important, entertaining, and amazing... Oh, here we go. Is it National fucking Motorcycle Interstate Day? Wow, Mr.YabaChaba's making a YouTube video? Is that what's going on? Holy shit. Right? What is this? Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted by those pesky motorcyclists, we got my boy Jimmy the Brick Flick versus Alessandro Costa. So I gotta give Costa his props because, man, he came out there guns a-blazing, calf kicks were on point, his striking looked crispy. Like, this Alessandro Costa guy, he's something else, and he's another, actually no, he's a flyweight. I was about to say bantamweight. No, flyweight. He looked pretty big though. But man, Jimmy the Brick Flick, man, like I said, I really had high hopes for this guy. His submission game, like I said, is bar none. He has a very crazy submission game, super fluid in terms of, in terms of transitioning from submission to submission, like all that. But he needs to maybe go to Thailand for a year. Maybe he needs to go to a boxing gym for a year or something, because his stand-up just doesn't match his grappling. And what sucks is, like I said, I just see all the talent in this guy, and his stand-up is just not up to par. Like, you can't let somebody chop your leg 3-4 times real hard. That's just gonna mess you up the entire fight. And it was that early too, like in the first round. The one time that he did get in on a takedown, he got on like on a leg, I think, or something, and just wasn't able to get Costa down, which is to Costa's credit. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they can't defend takedowns. Sometimes you just grab their leg and it's over, right? But man, Alessandro Costa, this guy, he's something to watch, because I have very high hopes for Jimmy Flick, and he did that to him. Wow, I gotta say that was phenomenal. So good on him, Jimmy the Brick Flick. I hope you get some striking work in or something. You just gotta focus on that purely, just for like months on a time, and just really get fluid in there, or at least get fluid enough to where you can get your wrestling up to par too. Because had that been an elite grappler, like, I'll even use Dan Argueta for an example. You give Dan Argueta that single leg that you had, he's going to the mat. You know what I mean? So definitely, I hope he comes back better. And Alessandro Costa, I want to see what this guy brings to the table in his future fights, because that was very, very impressive. Very impressive. So then we got, Nicholas Dalby versus Muslim Salikov. Nicholas Dalby, good fight, good win. Good fight, good win. Oh shit. Pretty good pace. Dalby hurt him a few times. Very good clinch work. And Salikov, he's hit or miss, right? Like, either he looks really, really good, in certain fights. Finishes people even. Or in other fights, he just looks kind of just like whatever, you know? But Nicholas Dalby, solid performance, my friend. And then we got Manuel El Loco Torres versus Mota over here. And man, Manuel Torres, wow. Holy fudgesicles, my friends. Wow. Wow. This was a brutal knockout. I mean, wow. Whew. That step-in elbow. Holy crap. Right? You gotta be crazy to throw an elbow like that, huh? Get it? But yeah, you know, that was a great fight. Great knockout. I mean, man. Matt Brown himself would be very proud of that elbow. So, good on him. I want to see him in the future for sure. I was at 55, too. That's, you know, I would say the second, you know, number 2 to bantamweight is lightweight for most talent stack divisions. So then we got Pat Sabatini, and he fought Lucas Almeida. And, you know, Pat Sabatini, he got knocked out by the Leech. Was it Damon Jackson, right? Got knocked out by him, which was pretty weird because he thought, you know, 2 grapplers, you would think, you know, they would get down and dirty grappling, but you never know, right? You just never know how fights play out. You get 2 grapplers, they have a standout war. You get 2 strikers, you get a grappling fest, or vice versa, and da-da-da. Styles make fights. Styles make... You know what it is? It's just 2 people going at it. It's not no styles make fights. I hear people say that all the time. Styles make fights. No. 2 fighters make a fight. That's what a fight is. 2 people fighting. Right? Styles make fights. I mean, I understand what they're trying to say with the styles make fights. Like, you know, you get a guy who wants to stand up and trade, and, you know, he's a sprawl and brawl kind of guy. You put him up against a guy who's a sprawl and brawl kind of guy, and the styles make fights. Or you would put that same sprawl and brawl guy against a guy like fucking, you know, Damian Maia or whatever, and then it kind of turns out to be a shitty fight because styles make fights. No. Fights make fights. Certain matchups make certain type of fights, right? Like Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier. I heard GSP say Poirier's last name, and he said Poirier. So I'm just going to say Poirier from now on. No, but you know what I mean? Like, that fight's going to be a fucking banger, right? Is it going to be a snooze fest? I'd bet my house that it's most likely not, but you never know because it's MMA. So you never know. But anyways, Pat Sabatini versus Lucas Almeida. Patrick, he's got a extremely well-versed ground game. And not only does he have very high-level jiu-jitsu, but he has the wrestling to go with... Oh, shit. He has the wrestling to go with it, right? There's a lot of... You see a lot of these cop car lights? Something happened. Oh, a nice little fender bender. Yeah, so he's got the wrestling to go with the jiu-jitsu. And, yeah, just complete utter domination. You know, this Lucas Almeida cat, you gotta go back to the jiu-jitsu. You know, you gotta roll a little bit more, better takedown defense, because he just got manhandled. Honestly, that's... What happened to him is what I would do to a 3rd grader. Okay? And, if I was in better shape, I could probably do that to a 5th grader. But now, since I'm not in good shape, and I have man tits, and my back hurts, and I got that sciatic nerve pain, I can only do that to a 3rd grader right now. But you would just watch. You'll see. I'm coming back, baby. Coming back! So, congratulations, Sabatini. That was a nasty arm triangle. Like, you could tell he does that a million times a day. Good on him. Armin Petrosyan. Armin Petrosyan. I don't know why I said it in an Italian accent. Fought Chris Lee Duncan, CLD. And I think kind of like what I said in the previous show, or the actual show or episode, whatever, preview show. I figured it would be a good stand-up fight, and I believe I picked Armin because I think he had more experience and all that. And CLD, I didn't really see much out of the cat. They got a lot of hype around him and this and that and all that, but really I didn't see much. I saw kind of a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like a lot of fugazi kicks, kind of like flashy kicks, just kind of like throwing these really crazy and flashy moves out there. And I might have worked on the regional scene, right? But you get a guy like Armin Petrosyan, who's I think he's a really good prospect to watch. It's not gonna work, but it was a good fight, good back and forth, decent decision. So God bless Armin Petrosyan. Then you got Arman Tsarukyan. You got to roll the R, not Armin. Armin Tsarukyan. No, Armin Tsarukyan. He fought Joaquin. Is it Joaquin or Joaquin? I don't know. See, it's just weird. Because you got Joaquin Phoenix, who did the Joker. And, that movie was whatever. A lot of people... I'm not going to get into that. So is it Joaquin Silva or is it Joaquin Silva? But anyways, the previous episode I did, I was almost like begging the commission to like cancel this fight. I was like, how could you do this? Joaquin, whatever. I'll just say Silva. Silva's manager should fucking be fired. Oh my God. How could you? And then even the betting lines showed that, Arman Tsarukyan was a gigantic favorite, like minus 1,000 type shit, right? So, the fight plays out, and it was very competitive. And then at one point, Joaquin Silva wobbled Arman Tsarukyan. Bad. Really bad. Where he's doing the chicken dance, like the Kevin Lee dance when he fought Barbosa. Their little chicken dance that they do. Their equilibrium's all messed up. Man, I was like, oh my God, no way, right? But that was good to see that Arman has a very big heart. And he's got a lot of heart in there. And for him to grab that single leg, especially when your equilibrium is all messed up like that. I got hit a few times like that. The room's just spinning, like your legs don't fucking work, right? So for him to grab onto a leg and dump him and get a quick takedown like that shows that he's very smart and aware in there. Like, he could have been real stupid, like, fuck you, you hit me, I'm gonna fucking punch you back. No, he was very smart to grab a leg, take him down, recover for a little bit. And to me, it looked like, Joaquin kind of ran out of gas in the third round. And that's when Arman, just went to pound town, just left pound town, my coochie pink, my booty hole, hey. Anyways, see what I just did right there? That's how I discipline myself. It's called necking. From my neck of the woods, no pun intended. That's just what you do when you catch somebody lacking or doing something stupid. You give them a neck, right? We used to grab the hand sanitizer. We used to grab a bunch of hand sanitizer, right? And even if, nobody even said anything, we just smack the fire out their neck. Just because we're hooligans. It's high school. But anyways, so Arman went to Pound Town and completely obliterated Silva. But Silva put up a fucking damn good fight, and he should be very proud of that, because I believe this Ataman cat for sure is top 5, even like contender worthy. Like, you put him up against Islam right now, I think it's like minus like 140 Islam plus 150 Ataman, I would say. That's how I would put it in betting terms. That's how I'd put it. It would be a very close, in my opinion, a very close fight. I feel like Islam has a lot better stand-up than Ataman, and I feel like Ataman needs to polish that up a little bit to stand up and get a little bit better with that, which he is. He's gonna get a lot of good kicks in there and stuff like that, but the hands need a little bit of work. But his grappling, wrestling, like all that stuff, his conditioning as well. I just go back to that Gamrot fight, and he, that pace was just insane. So, yeah, I mean, I would like to see Ataman fight Michael Chandler. Because this whole Conor thing that's going on, right? Like, did you guys see the video that surfaced recently? Like, he did this, I'm sorry, but you don't pick boogers with this thumb. You don't pick boogers with this. You pick boogers with this. You pick boogers with this. You pick boogers sometimes with this, right? To be a little, But this, no. So he hit the booger sugar, did this, right? And he was talking to the lady that, whatever. I'm not going to get into all that. But, it's just sad, right? Like, you're out of the USADA testing pool, and it's because you're, using things that are not with the USADA guidelines to heal your leg. You somehow look beefy and bulkier than usual. You're doing the booger sugar. You got caught on camera. And obviously fucking 240p resolution, like always, because you can never get a clear video of anything. Even with fucking alien sightings, it's never a clear video. It's always the fucking 240p, 144p. I mean, it's crazy. This iPhone that I have, nothing special. The iPhone 13 mini, right? I'm recording this 60 frames per second, high resolution 4K, 4K, 1080p, whatever the fuck. You're telling me you can't record anything and better, that's not grainy and fucking pixelated and shit? Like, come on. What is this, amateur hour? So, yeah, back to Ataman before I got sidetracked. I get sidetracked a lot, I get all ramped up and shit. But anyways, so I hope Ataman fights, I would like to see a rematch with Gamrot. I'm not opposed to that at all. I think that would be a good fight. Michael Chandler would be a good fight. Benil Dariush would be a good fight. I think you got a good list there. And I know he wants top 5, but fight anybody in the top 10. If you do a great performance with anybody in the top 10, you're getting the title shot, right? Especially with how he's looking. So, good on him. And that was remarkable. And now, for the main event of the evening, brought to you by nobody yet. Wow. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was the wizard wrong, a.k.a. Joey Chestnuts, a.k.a. Joey. Boy, was Mr. Willie Walkthrough wrong. Shout out Willie Walkthrough. Willie Walkthroughs was wrong. Willie's Walkthroughs was wrong. Willie's Walkthroughs was wrong. 4 W's. That's a tongue twister. I was wrong, I believe. I think I picked Vittori. Man, now I'm doing the booger sugar. Right. Wow. That fight was fucking crazy. And that's what I'm saying about fights going to a decision. It being an absolute war. And what? It's not worth fucking 6 points because of the PFL stupid bullshit scale fucking point system? What the fuck is that about? But anyways, holy mackerel. Holy mackerel. And, man, I was kind of a little, like, Jared, his last fight was Sean Strickland. I believe he lost that fight. So I was kind of thinking he's 39. He's going to kind of the cliff. Fucking Max Kellerman theory. But no, I thought, I definitely thought Marvin had an advantage with him being younger and him learning. And he had a, decent performance against Roman Dolidze. Holy cow. Holy macaroni. What a crazy ass fucking fight. Vettori hurts him in the first round. Like bad, like wobbled him pretty good. Right? Sorry. And I thought, like looking back at it, I thought that kind of maybe hurt Marvin in a way, hurting him that bad that early. Because I felt like had he not have hurt him that early, I feel like his game plan might have changed. And what I mean by that is I'm pretty sure his coaches were like, yo, you need to take Jared Cannonier down. This guy ain't no jiu-jitsu black belt ADCC world champion type shit, right? Which I feel like that would have been his game plan. But for Marvin to hurt him that early, I think that might have just said, hey, I'm gonna try to finish you on the feet type shit. So that was crazy. And then the second round, wow. Like, wow. What is Marvin's head made of? Okay. Like, that's scary. Actually, as a matter of, I actually have Marvin's head right here. This is Marvin's head. Okay? You see that fucking cooler? All right? He's got a fucking blockhead. Okay? Like, that shit is crazy. How the fuck did he take those many shots? And you got to give it to Marvin, because he wasn't looking for a way out. He wasn't going to bitch out, right? Like, you would either have to kill him in there, or the referee's going to have to stop it, or the fucking coach has to throw in the towel. He absorbed all those shots. Cannonier just could not miss with that right hand. Just could not miss. Oh my God, right? And really, after that first round, I'd give that first round to Marvin. It was just one-way traffic for Jared Cannonier. He just pieced him up bad. Even threw in a good couple of takedowns here and there just to mix it up a bit, but Cannonier never looked any better. He's 39 years young. He looks like a specimen. And really, it's you got to give it to Cannonier's coaches. I mean, the coaches told him, like, the footwork and this and movement and all that is going to win you this fight. And really, that's really what it was. Cannonier was just in perfect position to land those shots. Perfect position to get out of shots, to avoid things. Marvin was kind of revolting back to his older. Sorry, I'm trying to pack real quick. Marvin resulted back to his old ways a little bit with the arm punches. He threw arm punches again, sort of. In the first round, when he sat down on his shots, he wobbled Cannonier bad. But for him to throw arm punches like that again, and then really he got outclassed on the feet. And he was just so hurt after that second round. I don't even know how the hell did this fight go all fucking 5 rounds? What the fuck? What's this guy made of? But really, congratulations to Jared Cannonier. Good on him, because he fucking wowed everybody. And he almost knocked Marvin Vettori out, or a TKO. Like, that was this close from stopping. But what a great fight. 2 amazing warriors. And what's next for Jared? What's next? Huh? What is next? I don't know. You got Robert Whittaker versus Duplessis. Obviously, Robert's going to win that fight. Who are we? Yeah, like, who are we bullshitting, right? imagine like I say this now and then Dricus like flying knees and knocks his head off or something. So Robert Whittaker beat Jared Cannonier. Was it handedly? Kinda, because Jared hurt him pretty bad, but Robert Whittaker hurt Jared pretty bad. So I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch for the belt, but then Dana said whoever wins Whittaker Duplessis is going to fight Adesanya. But really, after the Whittaker Duplessis fight, the winner of that fights Adesanya. Cannonier just, he can just wait. Be like, yeah, I'm next after those two. So that could happen. But we'll see. Maybe he wants to stay active. Who knows? But I think he's in good position. And for Marvin Vettori moving forward, he is young. He's 29, this and that. But I think it's very alarming that he took a lot of damage that fight. Like, honestly, it would have been better for him to get knocked out than to take all those shots. Like, if he would have got knocked out in the beginning of the second round, instead of taking the middleweight UFC significant record for most significant strikes, I think his brain would appreciate him getting knocked out rather than absorbing over 200 fucking punches from a gigantic man with powerful sledgehammer hands, right? You know what I mean? I think he needs to game plan a little bit better with his coaches. He needs to stop throwing arm punches like he did before. And really, he needs to learn how to... I'm over here like I'm the expert of everything, but, I just have my opinion. I have my experience with watching fights for a very long time and whatever. But anyways, I just think he just needs to control the tempo a little bit more and use his gas tank a little bit better. It seemed like to me that Cannonier had the better gas tank in that fight too, which was really weird. Like, was it because Vettori was hurt, or did Cannonier just have a better gas? I mean, that's just craziness, right? So I hope Marvin, he'll be back, he'll be better, he'll learn from that. But I think he should definitely try to use more of his grappling in his next fights moving forward, because I feel like he has great stand-up and all that. He really does. He has pretty good hands too, but when you're fighting somebody like Jared Cannonier or the elite of the elite, try to use that grappling more. He's a big guy for 185. He has to diet for 2-3 months straight, strict, right? Super strict diet to lean himself down to even make 185. So I think he should definitely try to lean more into the grappling instead of the striking, to give his brain a rest a little bit. But he'll be back. Like I said, he's in his 29, whatever. He'll be back better than ever. Cannonier, on the other hand, holy guacamole. Did that guy impress me? Prove everybody fucking wrong. And he was the underdog in that fight. So that's just what's beautiful about MMA. You just never know, right? Holy guacamole, yeah. So I think that does it for this. I want to shout out the wifey for giving me this fine old piece of equipment. Fine piece of equipment. I'm going to start doing ASMR now. Yeah. Shout out Willie's Walkthroughs. You should check that out. We did a hilarious stream last week when Overwatch 2. Anybody play Overwatch 2? No? The new season came out. We had like a fucking 4-hour stream up in that bitch. We were hooting and hollering, having a good time, so check that out. And yeah, so tomorrow will be the preview for the next UFC Fight Night card. I can't remember the top of my head who it is. Oh, God. Who is it? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. But doesn't matter, because that's going to be tomorrow's episode. Anyways, take care now. Bye-bye then. Peace.